Hello YouTube and welcome back to Allie's Wonderland Creations. I am Alice Seraphin and I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from the US. So today we are going to make a sidestep card using our September 2022 Spooky Treats paper pumpkin stuff. And this is video number 6. So I'm going to set my whiteboard aside. Now I did make one just to not using the same products. It's just using some stuff from my little Halloween box here. So this is what it's going to look like, but I'm going to show you the stuff we're using for it. That was just so I could cut it, get it layered out. So what are we going to be using here? We're going to be using a piece of this, one of these. How many got? I have one of these and I already have it cut up so I can give you the measurements. Let's see. I can even show you all of that stuff. So those are just extra little doodads we have. We're going to use the spider web, the spider, the ghost, and this piece here. So those 4 little elements of our punches out. This piece here, let me show you, it's easier this way, is 2 3/4 by 4. So that is cut starting at the bottom. I went ahead and I trimmed all of this down. Well, I started with this piece. This is 2 3/4 inches wide. So I trimmed it all at 2 3/4. Then I cut my piece at 4. Then I cut this piece at 2 1/4. And this is by 1 3/4. So this actually was this piece here. We can start looking at how these pieces are done. Next we have, oh, that's the one I messed up on. This was the side piece from this side, somewhere around in here. This piece was also from it. So we have that piece, this piece, and that is from the kit. So we needed one more piece here. I wonder if that was, I know I cut this from the same piece of cardstock. I can cut it all again, but there's no need to. This is 2 1/4 by 1 inch, and I needed one more piece, and it is disappeared. I probably put it in my bag. Nope, here it is. So this is 2 1/4 by 3/4 of an inch. You will need all, hopefully you guys can see all those pieces. So besides our 4 little elements, we have that piece, that piece. This piece we're going to use on the back. I have a second piece that is 2 3/4 by 4. This is to write our message, and I thought since we had this piece, might as well use it, or I might use this little strip instead along the side. And that was just leftover pieces. So we'll decide that at the end. Now on these, because it's such a bold print, I am using the Cardstock Measurements, which is 2 3/4 by 4, which is this Fresh Freesia. This is DSP from the Celebrate Everything Hostess paper pack. And I had scrap pieces, so I was just using them to figure out the measurements on the card. If you are not using this cardstock, you may choose to layer it up by a solid and then a DSP, but this is so much going on in the print, I didn't need to back it with anything. We are using basic black cardstock, and it needs to be cut at 5 1/2. So a half a sheet cut at 5 1/2, right? So there we go. The other piece I'll use for something else. So let me show you. I did make me a template. There we go. giving you guys a chance to look at it. It might seem confusing, but it truly isn't. Getting a template really helped me with this card. It does with most fun fold cards that have scoring here and there and it's off. It does help to have a template that you can always look at. A card is nice. I will keep my template along with this card so I can see, you know, decide what elements I'm going to stick on it. But for measurements for the card itself, this really helps. So we're on the 5.5 inch side, which is right across the top. We need to, I put 3 inches from here to here. We need to scoot, let's set that right there. Yeah. Scoot this down to 3 inches. We're using our cutter, and I'm going to show you another trick. If you're using a dark colored cardstock, like the black here, we are using this guide here to do our cutting and our scoring down too. So we are starting this at 1. So there is a little groove on this trimmer, score little tool from Stampin' Up, right here, and that's what I'm lining up with the 1 inch mark on the guide ruler. So I'm going to plop that down. Now I'm going to cut down to 6.5. This is just a scratch piece of paper, so I'm moving it down so I can see the 6.5 inch mark, which is right here. And I'm simply bringing that groove right to the 6.5. And our cut is done. Now we won't be using that cutting blade anymore, so I'm scooting it way up at the top. Now, to start our first score line, you have a choice. From here to the cut, from our cut is 3 inches. From here to here is 2 1/4. And you're going to score on from the 1 inch to the 3 inch line. You're going to score at 4 1/4. So you want to have that 2.5 inches right here at the bottom facing you if you're using this paper trimmer. We're going to line it up here at 4 1/4. Close that down. Make sure I got it right. I've got stuff in front of it. Bring in my little white here. And we are going to score from the top to the 3 inch. And you want to score really well. You don't need to force it. Just run across it a few times. All right, so that is all the scoring we're going to do on that side. Now we're going to flip this around. So now we have on that 3 inch line, 3 inch side with our score line at 4 1/4, we're going to reverse it and we're going to be working at the top. And if you look on here, our cut that we did in this at the first, from here to here is 1 inch, and it starts at 6.5 and it goes to 8.5. There's a 2 inch thing. So we're going to start scoring at the 1 inch side. So we're going to line it up here at the 1 inch. Move that way out of the way. So there we go. And I'm going to bring in my little white piece of paper because we are going to score down to 2.5 inches. Right there, and we're using the guide ruler to score to. Okay, now we're going to scoot it to 2 inches. And we're going to score again to the 2.5 inch line. Now we're going to go to 3 1/4 and score it down. Now we're going to go to 4 1/2. So that's 4 1/4. We want to do it at the half. So once again, 2 1/2. Now we're going to go to 6 1/2, which I got to move my paper a bit because it's right there. And if you have a template to go by, it helps and you can see now all of our markings are done. So we scored at 1, 2, 3 1/4, 4 1/2, and 6 1/2. And then on the wider part, which is the 3-inch side, we scored at 4 1/4. So let's put the paper trimmer away. And we are going to fold this. Now this card can go 2 ways. If you want the large panel on your left-hand side, which we're doing, you want your steps on the right. So when I go to do this, I need to turn mine upside down because otherwise my folds aren't right. So I'm going to start, push that back, and just give this a pinch. I'm going to roughly get them going here. There, there. Just fold it up kind of like an accordion here going. And now once it just kind of folds up like that, and then you can take your bone folder and give it good crease all over. I just want all the pieces nice and flat. So there is your step card. So I'm going to open mine up now, and we're going to glue all of our pieces on it. So this is the front piece. Large bottle of Tombow. Let's hope she's wanting to work for us today. Why I chose this piece is you cannot see any of these square lines unless you're looking for them. Yikes. Come on. There we go. Not kidding. I hate touching this glue. It gets so icky on my hands. Okay, I'm not fighting with it. I am going to go to the little bottle. And I know I have glue on the cardstock. I just want some more just to make sure everything is good to go. So going to put this in its place, the large panel. On the large panel, we can start placing these where they're going to go. Where's my little one? So you have 1, 2, 3, and 4 pieces. I'm seeing if I bring it here, if it's still in camera. I'm going to show you the back of my template, which gives me all the measurements for the DSP and coordinating cardstock. This isn't going to be shown, so we're not putting anything on that piece because that is this section right here. So that's why we don't need any there. All right. So next, we're going to do some stamping in a minute, but I want to get some pieces on here. I know I want my ghost right there. So I'm only going to put glue on about 1/4 of my ghost because wait and see, when I pop this thing up, I want my ghost there. I'm going to pop my spider web right there, my little spider alongside it, or going to have to figure that out, but let's do our stamping. So we have Trick or Treat, which is going on here, and I'm not going to do a circle on top of it. We're just going to do it as it is because I wanted, there's some white on that ghost. I wanted to keep that white throughout. I'm looking for the memento. I think I put it away. I did. Let's slide this out. My very juicy memento ink pad. See, it's very juicy. Ugh. I'm not liking any of the stampings. That's why I'm practicing here. Okay. I really over inked it. So here we go. Trick or treat. Ta-da! Much better. I'm going to clean it off real quick because I don't want that black going over onto anything. Now we have Happy Halloween. We're going to set that one aside. And we have the little Happy Halloween. This little rectangle was from the kit, and I'm using it for Happy. Or should I just do Happy on? Nope. I'm just going to cut it because otherwise I won't be using it at all. So I'm just going to stamp Happy there. And then Halloween. This is one of those little strips that came in the kit. I'm just turning it over because I want the white. Like I said, I wanted some white showing. And now I've got to do this way to lay it down. Let's see how I did. Yes, and we're going to cut off the Happy. I could have used that, I suppose. Oh, well. I didn't think about that, just cutting it in half. But, all right. So, we're done with the memento. Oh, no. Let's go ahead and stamp the back while we're at it. We're going to stamp, let's see. We have a spider web. Why not use them? We have them. We're going to use them. Get a couple of blocks here. One for the stars. A couple of little, I don't know all the letters to all the blocks, but I know these are A if you lined them up. So we need 1, 2, and 3. And let's open that inky memento. So we're going to do a row of stars, somewhat anyways, down this side. Because we have that little strip of DSP going there. Let's get that on there. I think we're going to use this teeny tiny strip that was left over. I will cut off whatever is not used. Let's see. Oh my gosh, it's perfect. I don't got to cut anything off of it. It was meant to be. So we have some little bats to fly in the sky. Ooh, very dark bats. And I want a little spider web down here, just partial of it. And then a little spider. Like so. Ooh, so inky. Ugh. I took a paper towel to it the other day. I'm going to have to do it again. So I'm going to let that dry off as we finish this. So I'm not putting any, we could do some dimensionals. I wasn't going to, but no, I'm not going to either. I've decided not to. It's going to be a little bulky because of that. So we're going to put Trick or Treat right there. I'm going with my original game plan that I had laid this out. Doing my little spider web there. My little spiders going all the way at the top. Let's see. Right there. So cute. Okay, we're going to open this back up. And you guys know I hate cutting. I want the guillotine. I'm sorry. I just hate cutting without it. I don't like to. So I'm going to cut this. Yikes. Get out of there. I've been working in the garden, doing all kinds of stuff here. And lift that up. That's good. Now for the Halloween, we're going to cut that happy off. Oh, and it smeared my Halloween. Thank goodness I can still use that, but I have another piece because the ink was so inky. So let's get them in their spots. This is happy. I could go up some, I guess, on that. Happy and Halloween. Now I have this little bat from a very old little punch. I'm going to add that on here. Just right there. And we're going to add some of these little stars they gave us. Two. I'm going to add some more to this side. And then we'll spread some little ones in here. Okay. Just using it all up. I will still have so much left over. It's not going to even be funny. Oh, let's see. Nope, that's good. I'm going to put a star here. Yes. Okay. I'm happy with that. Now let's see when it all pops down into its little thing. You can see it. Let's see. So cute. Now we have to do our back, which really juicy, inky stuff there. I almost did it upside down. This will fit in a regular size envelope. So there's our back. You have something to write on, and our little side step card for Paper Pumpkin video number 6. Kind of cute, a little different. So don't be afraid to try those fun folds. Make yourself a template, work with it. I was going to show you my back. So on the back of my template, I wrote CST is for cardstock, the dimensions, the DSP. If you wanted to do the DSP like this card, I started to do this and then I realized, oh, don't need that one. So I just scratched it out, did that one. I didn't write the dimensions here, which I need to, but I wrote 2 3/4 by 4 times 2, 1 in basic white for the back. This is the DSP measurement. This is cardstock DSP, and I need my little measurement for this one. So let's do that. I'll show you how 2 1/4, right? By 3/4 of an inch. So 3/4 of an inch by 2 1/4, and that's cardstock. Now, if you wanted DSP layer, you're going to just take it down 1/4 of an inch, and that's for DSP. So now I have my template with all of my writings, all of my measurements on it, and the DSP's on the back, and I'm going to keep those together in a little folder I have for my stuff. And that's how I take care of that. And this is the card we made today. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, would you give me a thumbs up or make a comment and let me know? And I will see you again in my Wonderland. Bye bye now.